Hello, my little mathematicians. Today we're going to work on multiplying decimals. When you multiply with decimals, you multiply just like normal. You start from the far right and you do this times this, this times this, then this times this. The only thing that's different is however many numbers are after the decimal right here determines how many numbers are after the decimal right here in my product, in my answer. So for 1, 2, and 3, they've already been multiplied out for us. I just need to know where to put the decimal. So I look right here. This has 2 numbers after the decimal. This has 1 number after the decimal. So add those together, you get 3, which means my answer needs to have 3 numbers after the decimal. So start all the way to the right and go 1, 2, 3, and that's right here between the 2 ones. So there's now 3 numbers after the decimal for my answer. And that's all there is to it. So for this one, there's 1 number after the decimal, 1 number after the decimal, 1 and 1 make 2. So my answer needs to have 2 numbers after the decimal. So it would be 2.94. This one has 2 numbers after the decimal, 1 number after the decimal, for a total of 3 numbers after the decimal. So 1, 2, 3 puts it right there at 0.816 or 816 thousandths. Okay, let's go ahead and try some on our own. It doesn't matter when you determine where the decimal goes. I just like to do it at the beginning so I don't forget. So I count there's 1 number after the decimal here, 1 number after the decimal there, for a total of 2 numbers after the decimal for my answer. And then I just start multiplying. So 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 2 is 12. And 12 plus 4 is 16. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. And then I would put a 0 here and keep going, but there's no number right there. So I'm just ready to move my decimal 1, 2 places so that I have 2 numbers after the decimal like I did at the very beginning. And this is 25 and 68 hundredths. Okay, let's try the next one. Let's do this one where I don't do the decimals till the end. Let's just start multiplying. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. And then I'm done. And now I'm ready to count the decimals. 2 here, 1 after the decimal here. So a total of 3 numbers after the decimal. 1, 2, 3. See how it didn't matter if I did counting the decimals at the beginning or counting the decimals at the end? It's just a matter of preference. I prefer to do it at the beginning so that I see that little number circled off to the side and it reminds me, oh yeah, don't forget to put a decimal in your answer, because that really makes a difference. 122 versus 122 thousandths. That's a huge difference, because this is basically like saying 12 cents versus $122. Okay, so yes, decimals do matter. If you put the decimal in the wrong spot, it is wrong because it's an entirely different answer. If somebody owed you $122 and you instead bought them 12 cents, they'd be mad, right? So decimals are important. Let's go ahead and try this one. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3 numbers after the decimal, 1 number after the decimal for this one, for a total of 4 numbers after the decimal. Always start to the right and do this times this, this times this, this times this. 0 placement holder, this times this, this times this, this times this. If you think you've got it, why don't you go ahead and press pause and then unpause it and check yourself. And you can do that at any point throughout the video. Okay, if you unpaused it to check yourself, let's see. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 2 is 17. And why don't you try to say it aloud with me to see if, you remember your multiplication tables. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. Okay, 0 placement holder, so I can move on to this 1 that's in the tens place. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. And 1 times 2 is 2. When you're doing this and you have to do 2 layers, like these only had 1 layer, but this has 2 layers of numbers, please make sure that you're lining them up, okay? Because you don't want to accidentally add the wrong columns, okay? So really be neat and tidy with these. Add down, you get 0. 7 and 4 make 11. 1 and 1 is 2. plus 3 is 5, and 1 and 2 makes 3. Now there's 4 numbers that I need after the decimal. So 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers after the decimal puts me at 0.3510. If you simplify that to 0.351, potato, same thing. Okay. 2 numbers after the decimal, 1 number after the decimal, for a total of 3 numbers after the decimal for my answer when I'm done. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 5 is 5. Let's put a 0 placement holder right here and then move on to this one. And some people like to cross that number off, so they just focus solely on that one. That's okay. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 0 is 0. And 2 times 5 is 10. Again, please make sure that you lined them up so that we add them correctly. It hurts my heart when I have to take off points because we added the wrong column. Okay, 2 plus 0 is 2. 0 and 4 make 4. 5 and 0 make 5. Bring down that 0, bring down that 1. I should have 3 numbers after the decimal for my answer. So 1, 2, 3 puts it right there. So it's 10 and 542 thousandths. Okay, 1 number after the decimal, 1 number after the decimal, for a total of 2 numbers after the decimal for my answer. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. There's my 0 placement holder. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18. 4 and 0 make 4. 7 and 5 make 12. 1 and 8 make 9. And bring down that 1. There should be 2 numbers after the decimal, so 1, 2. There you go, 19 and 24 hundredths. Or think of it as $19.24. Okay, for my last problem, I have 7.4 times 1.8. There's 1 number after the decimal here, 1 number after the decimal there, for a total of 2 numbers after the decimal in my answer. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 7 is 56, and 56 plus 3 is 59. Put my 0 placement holder. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 7 is 7. And go ahead and add down. 2 and 0 make 2. 9 and 4 make 13. 1 and 5 is 6. 6 and 7 make 13. I should have 2 numbers after the decimal in my answer. So 1, 2. There you go. 13 and 32 hundredths for my answer. You have now mastered multiplying with decimals. Congratulations, my little mathematicians. You're geniuses.